bust my balls too much. Okay, I'm not in a place right now tonight.
What's
today
the matter
for
with you?
too much ball busting. I've had it.
Why?
You're
sad you don't have PlayStation 5?
Yeah, I'm just too pissed about that.
Were you at a soccer game and your mother died?
Are you referring to anything in particular when you say that?
Yeah, I'm referring to the movie that you recommended we watch this week.
This is my pick.
Another Adam pick about a 10-year-old.
I'm proud to make this my second pick of this podcast. Look, you love. First of all, I think you're predisposed to not like it because it's my pick, and it's a good one, and you know it is.
Okay, so what happened was earlier in the week, Adam was texting me, and he's like, "I just watched A Good Son. It's really good." And I was just like, instead of The Good Son, I wrote The Mediocre Movie. And
yeah, that was so funny when you said that.
And you're like, "Shut up, bro. You haven't even seen it," because I didn't review it on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I knew that you didn't have a Letterboxd entry, so I caught you, bitch.
And then I looked up what you put, and you put 3.5 stars.
That's right.
And then I was thinking, after all the weird, obscure movies we've been watching, that we should watch a more mainstream movie. So I thought The Good Son would be a funny movie to watch.
Yeah.
And I watched it on HBO Max that night, and I gave it like 2 stars. Like, it just barely.
Whoa, you did?
I wanted to give
That's crazy.
It was in between 1.5 and 2 stars, and then.
No, Cop and a Half is a 2-star movie.
And then
this is way better than Cop and a Half.
Cop and a Half is a 1-star movie, and then.
No, it's not.
Anyway,
it's got charm.
The next day, Adam lowered his review of The Good Son from 3.5 stars to 3 stars.
I was like, I can't go more than a full star above. No, I mean,
but
you know,
thought,
sometimes.
Anyway, like, you thought I hadn't seen the movie, and then when we were texting, you were like, "It's good. You gotta watch it." And I was just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I've seen this movie like half a dozen times.
What? Why have you seen it so much?
I've read the book, like the novelization. I got it from my school Scholastic book sale. Like,
that is such a you book to pick.
Well, I liked Home Alone, and I thought this was going to be a good movie when I was like 8 years old. And I read the book, and then when I saw the movie, I was like, wow, the book was better, and it's a fucking novelization. And
no way.
And I think
it must be a good book.
I think the reason why the book is better than the movie is because when you read the book, Macaulay Culkin's acting is better in your mind.
Yeah, he seemed kind of jaded in this movie.
I mean, he's terrible.
Well, he's doing he's good in Home Alone, but he's also like kind of just doing like a sleepy version of what he just does in Home Alone, or like a effort, you know, like a lazy version of what he's doing in Home Alone. It's just his,
He's just a lazy actor.
Dude, he was like a little kid. He was getting molested and shit.
Okay, well,
he was doing all that while getting molested.
Elijah Wood is also in this movie and gives a much better performance.
But he wasn't getting molested. Really, what you're doing is like demonizing victims.
Look, we have to assume both of them were molested because they're both child actors.
Okay, fair enough. I guess we got to start there.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, you actually think this is a good movie.
I do think it's a good... Well, I think it's more ironic
Here
than
it comes.
Well, like that, because I watched The Stepfather, too, which is by the same director. It's an 80s thriller. It's kind of the same sort of thing. But that has a layer of satire of 80s yuppie shit a little bit, and this kind of also does, I think, but for in like the late, the early 90s sort of. You just don't like this era of Hollywood movie, I think.
You are completely wrong. You're 100% wrong. 1993 is a great year for Hollywood films.
Name one.
It's The Fugitive in 93, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List.
This is basically like The Fugitive and Schindler's List.
I mean, 1993 was a great year.
You just don't like this movie because you are a good son,
Falling
and
Down, This Boy's Life, Nightmare Before Christmas, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Tombstone, Carlito's Way, Searching for Bobby Fischer, Alive, Remains of the Day, The Firm, In the Line
what
of
you're saying, this is
Fire,
better. This isn't better than The Firm,
Menace to Society, The Age of Innocence.
The Good Son.
This movie sucks, Adam. And
No,
it's
it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. It's a good like. It's a little. It's like a. It does. It's the movie that it should be. It's not a great movie,
okay, let me
but
ask
it's
you a
like.
question. Who is the audience of this movie? And remember, it's R rated.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did have that thought because like that scene where there's a scene where Macaulay Culkin says "fuck" in this movie. He's like, "Don't fuck with me," in a treehouse to Elijah Wood, and it made me. I remember that. Like I remember hearing about that or whatever at some point, just being like, "Oh, this is like the edgy Macaulay Culkin movie where he says fuck." But it's like, what are there adults that is like driving to the theater to, you know what I mean? Is that like pulling in an audience for the people who want to see Macaulay Culkin say fuck? Like in 1993, were there like like couples and stuff, or like the woman's like, "Do you want to go see Schindler's List?" And the guy's like, "Let's go see this movie, The Good Son. I heard Macaulay Culkin says fuck in it. It's for adults."
Right. So remember, this movie is for adults. Do you think this movie? I mean,
Sure is.
you're an adult. So
Yeah, I'm an adult.
do you think,
You can
as an
say that.
adult watching this movie, did you enjoy it?
Yes, as an adult, I enjoyed this film that was made for me, an adult who reads the New Yorker.
Okay. Well, you
I
have.
think it was maybe like it was maybe because remember you got to remember the time that this came out.
I do remember.
Very
I
similar to
saw
the
it when it
time
came out.
in the theater.
No, I watched it on video, but I remember I watched all the. Look, I remember Macaulay Culkin after Home Alone was fucking huge. Okay, and every
Yeah,
movie he made, there was like a buzz about. Even like he did Home Alone, then My Girl came out, and My Girl was a movie that no boy wanted to watch, but begrudgingly we checked it out because like, well, Macaulay Culkin's in it, like maybe it'll be cool.
What?
Although I only
So you
watched
were a
it.
big Macaulay Culkin guy? Is that what you're saying?
I
When you're a
was.
little kid?
I mean, I was 8 years old, and then I watched it because I heard he died from a bee sting, and I thought that
Yeah,
was. I was like, okay, maybe I'll check it
classic.
out. But it looked like a girl movie. Then The Good
Yeah,
Son.
sure.
This movie was like, I loved horror movies as a kid, so like an R-rated children's film is was like exactly the kind of thing I liked at the time. So I
Yeah,
was,
that seems. I mean, you were the audience that this movie is
and I
for,
couldn't
really.
even go to the theater to see it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fucked up. They blew it.
like nothing about this movie makes any sense.
But you gotta no. I was gonna say like, think about early '90s, all that, all the kind of puritanical stuff. America was a much more conservative, culturally conservative place back then. So I could see this. It's like one of the biggest stars in the world. It's like when they do, like Harmony Korine, like taking Disney stars and putting them in Spring Breakers. I could see that it kind of having that vibe about it at the time, even though it seems like a lamer version of it. But like,
Well, it's Culkin's
just the time.
exploitation,
Oh
Maxploitation.
man, Maxploitation, baby.
Okay,
I like
so
it.
I read a lot about the making of this movie.
Hmm.
Um, so it's written by this guy Ian McEwan, who was a very accomplished, well-respected British
Yeah, he was.
novelist.
Oh, did he write Atonement?
Yes,
Oh my god, that's
this is
crazy.
all before that. So he also wrote The Comfort of Strangers, which that ended up becoming a Paul Schrader movie. He
Hmm.
was a legitimate writer, very respected, and in around 1988, 87, um, I don't know if he was approached or if he had the idea, but he wanted, like, I think he said Fox wanted to make an Oscar-worthy movie about a child killer, and it was going to be very low budget, and it was going to be different than most of the studio films. It was going to be kind of like an independent Miramax kind of movie.
Hmm.
And he wrote a script, and then they spent 4 years developing it. And what happened was Macaulay Culkin's father, Kit Culkin, who managed Macaulay Culkin's career,
Motherfucker's name is Kit.
yeah, he's a complete psychopath, failed actor, horrible stage dad.
Right.
Everybody hates
Always.
this guy. There's nothing but horrible stories about him.
Hmm. I mean,
He,
his name is Kit. That's like tough to live with.
well, Knight Rider's car is named Kit, and everybody likes that car.
Yeah, but so is the. You know who the kid that springs to my mind first is uh, Lori Petty in League of Their Own, and that's like one of the worst characters of all time. Nobody wants to be a kid.
Anyway, Kit Culkin,
Okay.
he he was a failed actor. He tried to do stuff on Broadway and theater and stage, and I think like his IMDb is like one or two small roles. He he got the script for The Good Son and said Macaulay Culkin will not be in Home Alone 2 unless he stars in The Good Son.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
He was genius.
and then at that point it was like 91, and like sets were being built for like the shoot in Maine, and uh at first Ian McEwan was excited. He's like, okay, well, Macaulay Culkin will give us more attention. We'll have more. There's more of a chance of the movie getting made. We can now cast Elijah Wood because we're shooting a year later. Um, but then the director Joseph Rubin stopped answering Ian McEwan's phone calls,
Okay.
and then after a couple weeks of getting the runaround, another writer told Ian that they've hired a new screenwriter. They didn't even tell him he was
Oof.
fired. And these were people he had been working with for 4 years. And he was completely um, shocked and devastated by this like development because
Yes.
he had been working with these people for years, and he said they were intelligent, they were smart, these were like sophisticated producers. But once Macaulay Culkin was in the movie,
Hmm.
it then changed the product. It was no longer an Ian McEwan script; it was a Macaulay Culkin movie. And then
Yeah. That's Hollywood, baby.
Kit Culkin also forced them to cast Quinn Culkin as the little sister Connie,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and then
All
also
right.
Rory Culkin ended up being the dead kid in the photo in the picture, Richard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool little Easter egg.
So it just became a Culkin fest. I don't know which screenwriter took over, but he said after that they just wanted to make a Hollywood piece of shit. They just started cutting scenes. There was like a lot more development with like the mom
Yeah.
and the original. Oh yeah, so the original director was Michael Lemon, the director of Heathers and Hudson
Okay.
Hawk, and he wanted to
Okay.
make like a more. He didn't even want Macaulay Culkin in the movie. He said Macaulay Culkin is too little. He's not intimidating. It should be a more. It should be like an athletic, um, older child who it has
I
more
mean,
has more of a bully physicality. And then I think what happened,
yeah.
and then the other thing that was going on at the time was Silence of the Lambs had come out, and that was like a dark, twisted movie. So there was just like people were into this idea of like the sophisticated, sly killer who's like a sociopath and doesn't feel anything. So
Yes.
they kind of tailored the performance to be more like that. But
Yeah, I mean, Macaulay Culkin definitely seems like tiny and like young for that, for how much damage he does. Like the character is like
the,
causing a lot of trouble and shit. And Macaulay Culkin looks like he's like barely like not a baby.
look, this whole movie is contrived and shitty. Like one of the worst things about this movie is this utterly ridiculous. Um, in the book they did call it like the gun, the like crossbow thing he makes. It shoots
Yeah.
railroad spikes,
Ooh.
And
Damn, it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's such overdone Hollywood bullshit. Like it has like a Buick or a Cadillac, like
Production design on it.
yeah, it's like something out of Hook. It's like too.
Yeah.
It's just too complicated for a kid to make, and like, and a real failure of the screenwriting is that this gun is used halfway through the movie to kill a dog, and then it's never used again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that
You know
should.
what they say? That what's the Tolstoy thing or whatever?
If
If
there's
you
a
have a
gun
gun
in
in
the
the first
first act,
act,
it'll go off by the end of the
it should
movie.
go off in the second act at the dog scene.
Hey, Tone, what did Tolstoy say? If you got a pie
I'm
in the oven, you can't eat it. Oh man, I'm so high.
yeah, I'm not high.
Is this about the Easter baskets? That's
Um,
my favorite Christopher Moltisanti line.
what's that? What is that in reference to?
In like season 5, episode 1, I only know this because it was the premiere of the season, but like um when the bear's in the backyard, there's a scene where Tony has to talk to Chris about something. He's like, "Hey, let me talk to you about something." And then it's a funny non sequitur, and like Chris is like, "Is this about the Easter baskets?" And then Tony looks at him like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what idiotic scam are you doing with Easter baskets?"
Yeah, that's really funny. Um,
But yeah, they have this.
yeah,
He has
good
this
shit.
ridiculous gun, and he's supposed to be this like sophisticated, smart kid, and he has his own like workshop.
Yeah, he's got a shed with a bunch of toys, but also tools and stuff in it.
Is that like a Home Alone thing? Like, oh, he built these elaborate weapons and machinery for Home Alone, so let's carry let's
Yeah, maybe.
let's carry that over to the good son.
That's a good observation, William. I bet it is. It has something to do with that. But that's what people wanted. He was the kid that had gadgets and stuff.
I mean, he's basically if Kevin McAllister was a serial killer.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you know, why shouldn't that have been made a movie in 1993?
Well, his performance is terrible, and
That's the
his
one. That's the
career
bad
never
thing. Is that his
recovered.
really? You think he did Home Alone 2 right after this?
Well, Home Alone 2 was going to be a hit no matter what, but this showed that he could not do a serious
He's not a real guy.
dramatic
He's not
movie.
like. He's no Haley Joel.
Correct. And after this, he made Getting Even with Dad, Richie Rich.
Okay, never mind. I take it back.
He made a bunch of movies like Home Alone again. He just kept making it's like, hey, you know what? We put you in a drama. It sucked. Now we're just putting you in, more
Yeah.
garbage where a kid gets one up over an adult.
Yeah.
Whereas Elijah Wood had
Boy,
more
he
had
brings it, dude.
he has way more range and like he's in like Huck Finn.
Yeah.
He's in more. I mean, the movie Elijah Wood made before this was King of the Hill, a Steven Soderbergh movie, and that's why he was cast in this. That's where he got the
Mm.
buzz.
Mm. Oh, was he not a star during this at this point?
He wasn't a star, and this was on his way. This is like, yeah, he did. Was he in King of the Hill, or am I wrong? Or is that after?
I've never seen him. Um,
Oh, he's in Radio Flyer. He did Radio Flyer, Forever Young, Adventures of Huck Finn, The
yes.
Good Son, North, The Ice Storm. That was like his big dramatic move. I
Um,
think Jesse Bradford was in King of the Hill. I don't remember. But anyway,
anyway,
Elijah Wood had more acting chops, and you know, he kind of.
yeah,
I'd said in my review on Letterboxd that he's the only reason this movie's watchable.
yeah. Macaulay Culkin is pretty bad. Um,
And I think his father is a big reason why the movie's bad. I think his father was telling the director to like, hey, you got to do this in the scene. You got to do like that scene where they throw the what's his name, Mr. Freeway or whatever, Mr. Highway.
Mr. Highway.
They throw him off the bridge, and all the cars are crashing, and like
Yeah,
there's these like there's like a slow camera push on Macaulay Culkin's face that looks exactly
yeah,
like the Jack Nicholson anger management meme. And he's like, yeah,
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 yeah.
look at the cars crash. Like,
He also is doing a face. It's like a Home Alone face too. I would say, like, he's where he's like, I'm caught. You know, at that face I would describe as the I'm about to get pudding face. He's like, his eyebrows are going up and
Yeah,
like he's smiling.
yeah, and
He's really hamming it up.
I think Macaulay Culkin was a perfect kid for commercials, like a perfect child actor for commercials. He's he doesn't really have the range to do like a drama. He just
Um,
has that face of like, "Hey, I got Domino's. I'm feeling pretty good," and then like,
well, I think he's maybe more of a comedic actor. You know, like he is good at delivering lines dryly. You know, like in that like the right
pro- precocious
delivery.
line like it works in Home Alone because it's like, oh, he's so smart. He's getting one over the parents, and he's talking.
Yeah.
He's saying these little quips.
Yeah, yeah, totally. He's good at quips.
Whereas in this movie, it just feels like forced.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's a good pairing, like star wise for two kid actors. It's like John Travolta and Nicolas Cage movies from the '90s, like Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin. Like, yeah, I want to see that.
Like
I
Face
want to see those.
Off.
Yeah, this movie is actually reminding me a little bit of Training Day.
Yes. I spent a good day Googling what this subgenre is called, and it's about the subgenre of a person who knows someone who's respected is evil,
Yeah,
but they cannot convince anyone else around them.
yeah.
And it's the plot of The Stepfather. It's the plot of The Crush. I mean, there's an overlap with
There's,
like stalking movies,
yeah, it's like a stalker sort of
but
thing for sure.
I don't
But it
know.
also
There is no name for it.
I had that thought about that whole the plot thing of like like the only reason why the movie's not ending is because there's a character that's like not believing the person. That is something that was in like The Conjuring. I remember too, in like a haunted house sort of like story. It's like it just keeps they have to have reasons to stay in the house, you know. Otherwise, it'd be like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, this is crazy. It's haunted. You need the guy in charge to have like to not believe or have reasons to like stay.
Yeah, there's a great one from the eight. A lot of them are from the '80s. There's a great one called "Scream for Help," directed by Michael Winner, and it's similar to The Stepfather. It's about a teenage girl who's realizes her stepfather is like a psychopath, and she cannot convince her mother. And like,
Mm.
yeah, these movies work really well when they are about kids or teenagers because they can't leave. They can't just get out of
Yeah,
the house.
kids for sure. But but the Good Son is it's like funny. It's kind of it becomes absurd pretty much with how like much the parents aren't listening to Elijah Wood. Like there's a scene where they're sitting at a dinner table, and like a Macaulay Culkin's like Elijah Wood wants to move into or like he wanted him to like get out of Connie's room or something. And Elijah Wood was like, no, I don't want that. But the dad's like, you know what? He starts talking to the mom. He's like, you know what? Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe they should have their own rooms. And they just have the parents have this conversation while Elijah Wood is like, no, I really don't want that. Just because Macaulay is like, you know, it would be good if this happened. He's just like so effortlessly manipulates the adults in this movie. There's a psychiatrist that Elijah Wood goes to because he's like still going through the grieving process with his mom, and and he tells the psychiatrist and that he's like this kid is evil, and the psychiatrist is like, I don't believe that people can be evil, and she like doesn't listen, and then later Macaulay Culkin he goes to like tell her again, and Macaulay Culkin is there with her, and and he's just already manipulated this trained psychiatrist into not believing her patient. It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean it's complete horseshit.
And it's kind of a funny part of the movie, to be honest. Like, so the movie ends with the mom. So the mom goes into Macaulay Culkin's
Well, first
work
Elijah
shed.
Wood tells her. that Henry is a murderer,
Yeah.
and then
He
she
doesn't.
slaps him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It's good parenting stuff, I think.
Well, it's a good. I
Um,
like that reaction. I like that she's so upset and threatened by this accusation,
sure.
and also that it creates the tension of who is the mom going to pick, right? Which ends up being
Right.
a big part of the climax.
Which I think the climax is good. That's why I kicked it up to 3.5. It was because I thought the climax was genuinely good.
In what regard?
Well, do we want to get there
Yeah, let's talk about.
already? Or?
Well, let's talk about how the mom first is convinced that the accusation is real.
Okay, so yeah, she goes to the work shed, to Macaulay's work shed, and Macaulay's out doing. He like comes or like she goes and sees all like his weird kid shed that he has, and then she finds the rubber ducky that's like her babies who died before the movie starts. And
Little Richard was drowned in a bathtub, and yeah, Henry.
that's the name of the baby,
Yeah, Henry.
Little Richard.
Oh, Richard. So
Oh,
he's a
okay.
baby, so I said Little Richard. So yeah,
It
Henry
would be funny
tells
if they
Mark.
called it Little Richard.
It would be funny if the kid was like, "Oh, wop baba luba, wop it," and then
Before and then his dead.
or it's just a photo of Little Richard
That would be good.
as
Yeah,
the
that's the kind
baby.
of shit I
The
like.
baby has like
Yeah,
a pencil thin mustache.
yeah, and a Jerry curl. Um, yeah.
But he tells him, he's like,
So,
when my little brother was killed, or when my little brother died, he had like blue lips. I looked at him.
yeah,
I got a good look at the dead. Did you see your mom dead?
yeah. And the mom is like, so the mom finds this rubber ducky and is like, what the fuck? And then Macaulay comes in because he was out like collecting something.
He's doing like serial killer stuff. He's like, What
Oh
are you
yeah,
doing
he's
in
like
my
prepping.
workshop?
Yeah. Which is like, it's funny that the stepfather is such a mirror of this movie in so many ways. But so she basically is like, what happened? And he like he wants to get it back. He asks for the rubber ducky back. He like lies and shit and like kind of gets out of the situation. Then is like, can I have it back? And then when he asks for it back though, the movie does good. Both this movie and Stepfather do good like lighting change, like little subtle lighting things that just are thrillery, but kind of are used at the right, at the maximum like effective moment. And so he like there's like a kind of a cool thriller like eye light thing on Macaulay Culkin, and you can see that like the mom is like, oh, my kid's a psycho, and he grabs the rubber ducky or something like that and like runs away,
Yeah.
and she's like, what the fuck?
It's a
And
completely terrible scene in terms of writing. It's
I mean,
so
yeah, well,
dumb.
it's just he's so bad that it's not, it just seems kind of funny.
I
And
mean,
like
a rubber
it makes it a
ducky.
kid movie. Yeah. Yeah, like my baby's rubber ducky, like every what
My
are you talking
baby's
about?
rubber ducky, and he kept it. It's
Um
just complete garbage. So she's now wrestling with doubt, and she doesn't know if Henry is a killer or if little Mark Elijah Wood is telling the truth. There's another hilarious scene after this where Elijah Wood is taunted by Macaulay Culkin, who what is he says something in that kid's bedroom. I think he says he's like, I'm gonna kill my mom.
Oh yeah, he tells Elijah Wood that he's gonna kill his
And then
mom.
he grabs
And
Elijah Wood grabs a pair of scissors, jumps up on the
yeah.
bed and like holds the scissors against Macaulay Culkin's neck, like he's gonna cut his throat. And it's the kind of thing that would work with in a thriller with adults, but seeing little kids do this, it just looks awkward and weird, and like it's like something you would see in a
Yeah,
Bruce Willis
yeah.
movie. Like
What?
I can't
What do you think?
imagine Elijah Wood, or I can't imagine like an 8-year-old or 9-year-old just like holding scissors against a guy's throat. Like, I'm gonna cut your throat, man. You better not say that.
Yeah.
It just looks
Yeah, that's
weird.
weird. Yeah. It's just a we yeah, it's yeah, this movie has scenes that where it's like little kids acting out like adult like moments.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's they're way too young. They need to be like 14.
yeah,
Cuz like even
yeah,
the
or
way
at
that,
least like puberty, like
yeah, like
you
even the
know.
clothes they wear, they look stupid.
But honestly, like puberty, like early puberty is when kids aren't like intimidating to other kids. I guess they can be when you're like younger than that. But I feel like like a more danger. You get start feeling more danger when you're everybody around you is like going through puberty and shit. When you're before you're all just like little
Plus,
kids.
yeah, and you're more emotional. They don't. I feel like they don't have actual children, like realistic children emotions.
Mm,
It just feels like
yeah.
they're adults.
Well, yeah. Like Elijah calls his dad at that one in that one scene to tell him about it, and he's just like, I don't know. Yeah, he's like wearing a windbreaker, and he just looks like a tiny, like 30-year old.
He's dressed like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome, dude. The locations in this movie are amazing.
Yeah, so that writer Ian McEwan said that once Macaulay Culkin was in the movie, like the budget just shot up, so they had
Of
more
course,
access to
that's like
good location shooting and
it does a lot of the lifting in parts of the movie. I would say like just how cool like the setting is. It's all like natural like setting.
right. So after the throat
Oh
cutting,
yeah, and then the dad sees them and he's like,
what's going
uh,
on?
yeah,
You're trying to kill.
Elijah, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
the dad
Macaulay
is
does
so
the
dumb.
well, Macaulay is just playing him like a fiddle. He as soon as he opens the door, he's like, "Help me, help me!" But before that, he's like, "Do it, I want you to."
That seeing that scene, it made me realize that like I think The Simpsons had a big influence on this movie. I feel like the dad could be Homer, and Macaulay
Yeah,
Culkin is like Bart, and then the little sister's like Lisa,
yeah.
and the mom's Marge, and then the dead kid is the baby. Like,
Interesting theory, Maggie.
yeah, like it just
You should
doesn't.
write an article about that.
And then Elijah Wood is Millhouse,
Yeah, dude, that would be amazing.
but
I would love if they just remade this movie with those characters.
he has a Bart Simpson kind of like wisecrack.
Macaulay,
Yeah, like he's just acting.
he just that's his thing. He just I think he's just only good at like the quips and stuff, or like like little kid actors in comedies. Like think about it from a casting perspective, or like if you're a casting director, like you're seeing all these kids, and then you see a kid who delivers these lines that are like kind of precocious lines, but he delivers them like completely straight faced, and like he knows exactly what he's saying. Like, how do you not eat that up? I get why those actors, those are always like the kid actors that get picked, the ones that can do that specific thing instead of like maybe having range and stuff.
Right. Um,
It's a kid say the darndest thing sort of
well, I think also after Home Alone, the success of
attitude.
Home Alone, it just became like, okay, this is what he's good at. Let's just do this ad
Yeah,
nauseum. Let's just have him
yeah,
quipping and acting stupid and
yeah,
being
and it worked
unrealistic.
out great,
Yeah,
and it made the movie great.
ruin his career, destroyed his family. He's
I didn't realize The Good Son was so destructive to Macaulay's life.
oh yeah, this is like an embarrassment.
But I gave it 3.5 stars.
I know you didn't know anything about the movie and you just watched it and were like, this is pretty interesting thriller. And like,
Maybe it's aged better over time. Maybe that's what this
well, you
means.
didn't you went in with no baggage,
Yeah, and you came in
with a
with it
lot of
knowing,
baggage,
feeling. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
high expectations. They thought they were
I
gonna
mean,
make
I
they thought they were gonna make like over $100 million, $200 million, just like Home Alone. Like they saw big money.
how much did it make?
It cost about 20. It made about 55 to I think it made 60 worldwide and 48 US.
Damn.
So
I bet a lot of it was the rumor that Macaulay said "fuck" in it.
I mean,
I bet that's what made a lot of people go see it worldwide.
don't fuck with me. He said it.
I I remember this. This is like one of those movies that even though I didn't see it, I remember the trailer kind of. I remember that there's a scene where Macaulay is like holding a flashlight under him, under his face. And he goes, "What do you think this is? A game?" And then turns it off. And that's like a big trailer. I think that's how the trailer ends. Um, and I remember that. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I mean
That's
I think the trailer got played like in front of kids movies, like in front of PG-13 movies. It was on
cool.
TV a lot, like
Hell yeah.
because they were in that awkward position to okay, all of his fans are children, but the movie's rated R.
Right.
I guess we advertise on in places where kids can see it, and then we hope their parents bring them to the movie. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing was just
Sure to succeed.
yeah, it's just such a fucking disaster of an idea.
But it did. It was a success.
It's not a good movie, Adam. I don't know how to
I
tell
think
you
it
this.
is. Well, this director, so the stepfather has these like. We should talk about the stepfather for a little bit. Like he, it has like it's a good thriller, and it's in this like kind of domestic non-thriller setting, so it like
Well, there's the other thing you have to remember.
plays those moments
The thing about The
ironically.
Stepfather is that it's a low budget movie, and it did well because I guess like Terry O'Quinn. I'm gonna assume he was doing a lot of TV at the time. Like he's not a movie star, you know.
Yeah.
It's like lower expectations. Yeah, he's in a bunch of
So what?
TV movies. So, well, when you make a movie like The Stepfather and no one's paying attention, and you can make it more twisted and more
I
shocking,
think
like, and then if it makes any money, it's a success. But if you come off Home Alone with this $400 million box office, like massive success, and they're like, okay, this is The Good Son is not a Joseph Rubin movie. It's not an Ian McEwan movie.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a Macaulay Culkin movie. It's like all
Yeah, but there's
his gravity just blows away everyone else's, and the expectations of him override anything else. Like
yeah,
I
but
would
if
imagine
but
Kit Culkin is, I mean he's demand Kit Culkin, the son's the actor's
love him.
manager is demanding things and demanding changes that they have to do. Like that's how much sway Macaulay Culkin
But I
has.
still think that the movie that Joseph Rubin made a self-aware thriller with kids in it, and like it's a pretty good version of that. I would say still. I don't. I mean, besides Macaulay's performance?
I mean, it's
Like,
terribly written.
is it?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I guess
And
with all
it's
the
also sappy.
premises and shit.
It's like very
Forgot about this.
sappy and sentimental. Like some of the monologues Elijah Wood has, like their
True.
narration.
True, true, true. But there's like I really think that Joseph Rubin's doing I like somewhat uh like the score and stuff sometimes I feel like is like ironic or self-aware.
Yeah, everyone's self-aware that it's the kid from Home Alone is a serial killer.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like it's made. I don't know. I guess it's not.
It's not that
It's not.
subversive of a movie. It's just like it's
No,
complete.
no. I'm not saying it's that. It's a really subversive movie.
There, I mean, this is complete hack material.
It's just done the same way. Like The Stepfather was such a good watch with it. This I feel like because it was. It's like It's not as a successful, but it's the same idea of this of trying to make a thriller out of something that is
Well,
not normally.
the reason why The Stepfather is also good is Terry O'Quinn is hilarious.
Sure.
The lead actor, the stepfather, he's fucking awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he that's the thing. Like, if you have an actor with chops, like Anthony
Yeah, for
Hopkins
sure.
in Silence of the Lambs, like it's fucking awesome. But then when you put in this like sleepy, mimicky, dull, I mean, he looks dumb. He has like dumb eyes. Like he doesn't seem
He
smart.
looks like he just
Macaulay
looks like
Culkin
he
looks
does not
dumb.
give a shit. Maybe he was depressed, honestly, because his dad was being, you know,
He was probably.
one
I
dead.
mean, Michael Jackson's blowing him every day. He's probably just so he just doesn't have the fight anymore. He doesn't have the eye of the tiger. He's just getting
Yeah. Would you?
endless blowjobs from
Yeah.
America's #1 superstar.
Yeah. Yeah. What that could take a toll on anybody.
You know, it's just like, oh man, sorry I'm late to set. I just fucking the shit out of Michael Jackson last night, and just I'm so tired.
How come your Macaulay Culkin is deeper than your regular
Oh,
voice?
you guys ready to do it? He's just like late
You man,
stage.
you make your voice more masculine.
He's like late stage Dirk Diggler. He's just like,
Yeah,
oh, just like coked out, up all night, sweating.
it really does feel like he's kind of late stage Dirk Diggler by this point. It's a very. I mean, I'm surprised that it's not a little bit later in his filmography because it seems like the movie he'd make like at the very end. The way his performance is and how
This is halfway through
not.
his career. It's like
Yeah,
it's
he's
like
young in this movie.
this is like this is the end. You know, like My Girl. I think he made My Girl before Home Alone was released, so there was no baggage because he was still just like. It,
Yeah, yeah, he made My Girl before Home Alone came out for sure.
and
Because
then
otherwise, he wouldn't have been a star,
in this
or like
one,
he was too big a star. Right?
he just thinks like, oh yeah, I'm in.
Oh,
I'm
he
the
yeah,
king. I'm the king. You know, it's my fucking.
I'm the
Come
king.
on, Jack. Let's shoot. I'm fucking
Yeah.
hard. Let's do it.
So you think Macaulay Culkin is to blame for that?
Well, casting is the most important part of any
No, I
movie.
mean you think
I mean, the
his.
screenwriting is
It's just
terrible.
Macaulay Culkin is a piece of shit. It was just like a being an asshole at the time too.
Yeah.
Big swinging dick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's not acting. I mean, look, acting takes discipline. Unless you're Robert Downey Jr. Apparently, I forget what movie it was, but I think Tom Sizemore said on Natural Born Killers that he would watch Robert Downey Jr. Like he knew Robert Downey Jr. was on heroin, getting completely fucked up every night, and then I think on the way to the set would be like, "Oh, I gotta learn my lines," and then would just learn his lines in like two reads and just fucking
Damn.
crush. Because that's like the ultimate.
That's the dream.
That's the ultimate skill. Is you want to be
Yeah.
that like if you're
That
that good.
fast.
If you're that good at acting where you don't even need to fucking prepare and you just crush it every
Of
time
course.
and you just have that charisma.
Yeah. Michael Caine does the thing where I read his acting book, and he does the thing where like he rehearses everything completely down to the smallest like details, and thinks about how to adjust it for different shot sizes.
Yeah, for close-ups and wides and
So
stuff.
yeah, but he any gesture in a Michael Caine performance, anything you see, none of it is
Spontaneous.
like spontaneous. Yeah, but it's really good. He's really good, of course.
Yeah, British actors do a lot more
It's crazy.
preparation than American actors. I
Yeah.
imagine in Home Alone they're just giving Macaulay line readings
Yeah.
and they're just
He's honestly seems like he's on drugs or something in this movie. Did he do drugs?
he's just sleepy. Oh,
Maybe he didn't like the cold.
he's cold-blooded like a snake. He just loses energy.
Yeah.
He's like a lizard.
Yeah, man.
Well, Home
Yeah.
Alone takes place in Chicago in winter, so
That's true. That's a good point. He's kind of got like a good winter kid face because he gets like rosy cheeks and you know what I mean.
yeah, he wears.
I get he's not in like tan kid movies.
He's not like an Andrew Keegan type.
Who's that?
The guy from Camp Nowhere and Independence Day.
Oh yeah, that's the tan kid.
Yeah,
You put that kid in Hawaii or Florida or something. No.
Southwest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Arizona.
I think he started a church in Santa
Oh
Monica,
right.
and that
Yeah, yeah.
they did a story on for Vice.
Yes, I think you're right.
So yeah, like
But anyway,
let's get to the climax. So after the accusation with the scissors and the dad is pissed off at Elijah Wood,
yeah.
but Elijah Wood looks out the window and sees like the mom and Macaulay Culkin going for a walk. Maybe that's a scene later too.
Joey, come here. Sorry, one sec. My cat. I just let my cat out, and I wasn't thinking. Fuck.
Okay, well,
Hold on one
you're
second.
gonna have to get a new cat.
Just hold on a second. Joey, come back, dude.
Joey.
No, bad. Bad, Joey.
Clap,
Fuck.
clap.
All right,
So,
he's
cats
gone.
don't listen when you tell them to do things. That's one thing I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that he was gonna run away. There, like once he's out, there's no way he's not gonna like
It's not
try
going to
to
come
get away
back.
from you. He'll come back. Um, all right,
So
yeah, the climax.
anyway,
So the dad puts him in. He locks him inside the house. He like puts him in timeout. Basically,
he puts him in
puts Elijah Wood in timeout.
kid jail.
Yeah, and just like Training Day, and that's not actually. I don't think that happens in Training Day. But well, he does get like he has to get out of the
The drug house.
yeah, the drug house.
Yeah, he
Exactly.
takes him to that weird house.
Dude,
And,
this movie is Training Day.
well, I don't like Training Day also, so
What? You don't? Why not?
it's not well written and not well acted.
Oh boy, Denzel. You kidding? Ethan Hawke is good in that movie too.
I don't like it.
Um.
I think it sucks. Or it's just overrated.
Anyway,
They're both
so
very
yeah, he's
contrived
looking out.
movies.
He's looking out, and he sees Macaulay's like, "Can we go on a walk?" And the mom's like, "Okay," and Macaulay's like, "No!" The whole
Or
time,
Elijah
like banging
Wood's
on the
like, no.
glass. Right? Yeah, and um, and
Yada, yada, yada. They end up on a
yada
cliff.
yada. Yeah.
There's a cliff, a giant cliff.
Oh
This,
yeah. Well, Macaulay runs away, so the mom chases after him, but Elijah Wood, meanwhile, because he's trapped in the house, he takes a chair and throws it and breaks a window, and then tries to climb out. But the dad like grabs him and won't let, and like tries to restrain him. Elijah Wood like breaks free and then runs after
exactly.
the mom and
This is
Macaulay
more of
Culkin.
that Bruce Willis kind of action, where it just looks weird to see a child.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
yeah. I mean,
surprised
it's also
Elijah
kind
Wood
of
doesn't get in a car and like, you know, look for the key. The key's missing, and then like rips open the steering wheel and like puts two wires together and just like starts it up and just
dude. What do you
fucking
got to get against Bruce
just
Willis?
fucking drives it. You know,
What's your problem with Bruce Willis? What did he
my
ever do to
problem
you?
is with children acting like they're New York City cops.
Oh, I see.
Just like, don't fuck with me, man.
Right.
I'll scissor you, bitch. I got my
Yeah.
scissors.
Yeah.
Hey ma,
But he's
hey ma,
talking to the
maybe
wife the whole time.
Elijah Wood should go sleep in the other kid's room. Then I can do more murder stuff.
You know what? That's a good idea, honey. I think that would be good for them.
Ho ho
Um,
ho! I got my own room now.
Dude, it would be great if Bruce Willis played the Macaulay Culkin's role in
It's
this
just
movie.
dubbed like, look who's talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're talking.
Now you want the quips.
Now we're talking.
Here's my friend, Mr. Highway.
Yeah. Hey, can we pause for one sec? Sorry. Just the cat thing is fucking me up.
Yeah, go get your cat.
Okay, 1 sec.
Now that Adam's gone, let's really discuss the movie. This director, Joseph Rubin, is a complete hack. Dreamscape sucks. I watched it. It's the worst music I've ever heard in a movie. Sleeping with the Enemy, completely mediocre. The towels aren't straight. Oh, we gotta straighten out the towels. Pom Pom Girls, I kind of liked. I recommend the Pom Pom Girls.
Willie?
What's up, bro? Did you get your
Yeah.
cat?
No, but he'll I'll come back.
Is that fucking you up?
It's fucking me up. So yeah, so the dad is restraining him, and Elijah Wood like breaks free and then chases after them, and the dad doesn't chase after Elijah Wood or anything.
Yeah, why would he? He's just watching a kid run away who he thinks is a
Screaming.
murderer.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool move. He's a good dad. Honestly, this Elijah Wood's stepdad in this movie, or whatever this guy is,
His uncle.
he's like a worse stepfather than the guy in The Stepfather. For most of The Stepfather.
Yeah, he's Homer Simpson.
Yeah, yeah.
See, what I would have, if I wrote this movie, what I would have done is Elijah Wood bust in the shed, grab the gun, the crossbow, take that to the cliff and fucking shoot
Mm.
Macaulay Culkin right in the heart, and he just flies off like the end of Die Hard.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought the
All right.
climax was kind of cool, or like they.
So they end up at the cliff. We should talk. We
Okay.
got to set it
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
before we start discussing things.
True, true.
So they end up at the cliff. Um, Macaulay pushes his mom off, and there's a shot where there's a very visible cable that she's holding on to, and it's running
Oh,
up
really?
running
I
up
didn't
her
notice it.
arm. Yeah, there's a giant thick cable in it,
Fooled me. They got me.
and then I think Elijah Wood runs up to Macaulay Culkin and jumps on him, and then they both fall off. They're both falling off the cliff, but then the mom, who has then got herself up, is now grabs both of their arms and is holding both of the kids
Right.
over the edge of the cliff. And I watched this scene 3 times because I have no idea how the fuck they did this. Because what it looks like to me is that Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood are wearing bodysuits with cables attached to them, and then they're being the cables running up the mom's arm, and then coming out the back of her jacket. But like,
Mm. That's a
it's a
good. Yeah,
it's a
could be it.
giant fucking cliff over an ocean.
Dude, yeah, it's honestly like I was thinking that too. Like, how did they do that scene?
It
Because
looks,
they're rolling around on the edge of a cliff.
and even though they're wired up and everything, like there's no this is 1993. They don't really do digital compositing. Like there's no green screen, there's no blue screen.
Yeah,
It looks like
yeah,
they are held with thick cables that are hidden in the mom's arm, and they're fucking dangling the most popular child movie star
yeah.
on the face of the earth off a fucking mountain.
It's badass, dude. I
Uh,
also was like, how did they do the scene where the little girl falls in the ice? Because that also seems like they made a little girl get in a frozen lake.
I imagine that's a tank. Like you could fake it. You could do the ice tank.
But the view, you can see the like
Oh,
like
through
you
the
can
ice
see.
when she's like rolling around.
No, 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 no.
When she's
Before that, when she's like bobbing in it, you can see like the rest of the lake and like the forest behind her and stuff. Like they're not hiding anything. So it's. I think they made this little girl
she could
get
be in a
in.
wetsuit with
True.
heating pads, and then
Yeah.
there could be
Yeah.
people underneath her, like divers, or like there could be.
Okay. Okay.
I could see. I mean, it's probably easier to fake than this fucking crazy cliff they're on. I would love to
Sure.
ask them if I ever, if I ever meet Elijah Wood or Macaulay Culkin. The first thing I would do is ask them about this. Like,
Yeah.
you never know. Like
Probably get this question a lot.
If Echoplex
Like,
reopens and Elijah Wood's there smoking a cigarette outside, I'd be like, hey man,
yeah.
I just have one thing I want to ask you. How did
And you
you?
should be wearing a shirt that says "The Good Son" when you ask him.
He's like, let me guess, it's about the cliff. I'm like, yes. You could tell by my shirt, I'm a big. Well, I'm not a fan of the movie. I'm just curious how you shot this scene.
Yeah. Um, that'd be cool, man. I hope that happens for you. I saw him at El Capitan Theater one time.
Yeah, I mean, he's around LA, just
Yeah,
going to shows and seeing movies.
totally. So the climax is that the mom, her grip on Elijah Wood is slipping,
Yes.
and she has to make a choice between the two of them, and she chooses
And
our boy Elijah.
and Macaulay's giving some really bad line readings in a really creepy, like trying to be creepy, like, "Come on, mom, help me. I love you.
Yeah,
I love you."
yeah.
And the
He's
mom,
just too sweet a kid.
and she's like, "I don't know. Should I pick the son who murdered my baby, or should I pick my
Like
gross
the best kid
nephew?
ever. It would be funny if the mom thought Elijah Wood was gross.
It's
He's
gross.
kind of gross.
Not as cute."
Yeah. I just saved my ugly nephew. Sucks. But yeah, so the dad never checks in on them or whatever. The movie just ends after that.
They just wrap that shit up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
in the book, there's a more extended ending of like Elijah Wood visiting like a year later, and checking in on the
I gotta read the
family.
book, dude.
Yeah, it's a great book. I mean, I was
I'm not.
I read
Yeah,
it at 9 years
I haven't.
old, so I'm sure it holds
Mm,
up.
I actually have the novelization of Getting Even with Dad
Oh
in my
yeah,
car.
can I borrow that? I've
Yeah,
been meaning to read that.
yeah. Yeah. You're trying to read all of his
The
novelizations, right?
Page Master.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, so
Fuck. Yeah.
you see little Macaulay Culkin fall, and there's like a good dummy that like is like dead in on the rocks.
Yeah. They should have called the movie The Good Dummy.
They should have called the movie The Bad Kid. 'Cause
Oh yeah, yeah. That's so weird that they didn't do that.
they didn't even they
Like,
called him the good son, but he's not even good.
yeah. So they're saying that they think he's good. The mom is the villain in this movie.
It should be called The Dumb Mother.
Yeah. The bad parents.
Two
How about that?
stupid parents.
Yeah. Um.
So
Anyway.
are you still feeling confident with your 3-star review of this movie?
Um. Well, so what pushed it to the 3.5 for me was I thought the climax was uh
Not
am I
dog
just really
shit.
stupid or something? Because I thought it was good. Uh, am I an idiot? I thought the climax was pretty good for for a '90s early '90s thriller. It's unexpected. It's kind of like it goes there. You know what I mean? It's a big moment where it's like, yeah, she has to let her son die. Like, it's a good ending.
What's your favorite early 90s thriller? Or
Uh,
what early 90s thrillers have you seen and like what comes to mind? Because it was a good era.
I mean, I guess I was thinking about Fugitive. Um, I don't know, like, uh, um,
You
fucking.
haven't seen any.
No, I have. I don't know. Those are like airplane movies. I feel like.
The Fugitive is the only one you know of. Cuz like Hand That Rocks the Cradle,
Mm.
that movie's good.
I've seen that too.
You know who made a bunch of great thrillers is Curtis Hanson. He I think he directed Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and but he wrote, or he didn't. He wrote. No, he directed Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and then he wrote The Silent Partner, which is really good. He wrote The Bedroom Window, which is really good. He directed The Bedroom Window. He made another movie that's similar to what's it called? Good Son, called Bad Influence. This is like one of my favorite early '90s sleazy thrillers.
That
It's
would have been a good title for The Good Son too.
yeah, like James Spader plays this like very bookish, nerdy, like computer executive or something, like accountant or something, and he starts hanging out with Rob Lowe, and Rob Lowe is into all sorts of nasty business, and he starts like fucking with him and like ruining his life. It's kind of like a fatal attraction of friendship.
Oh, all right.
But yeah,
That's kind of like our. That's kind of like what our relationship is like. I think a little bit.
yeah, this movie, Bad Influence, there was a lot of buzz on it, but then Rob Lowe got in trouble for having sex with two 16-year-old girls on camera, and the sex tape leaked. So
Happens every day.
it kind of ruined the release of the movie. But I've kind of come
It's a
to
good movie,
appreciate Rob Lowe as an actor. He's good in
dude. He's a great in Wayne's World. He's great.
yeah, like I was only used to that kind of performance, like Wayne's World or Tommy Boy, but he's really good in Bad Influence, and he's also really good in St. Elmo's Fire. He
Mm.
plays a hard partying guy who just doesn't want to give up on college, and he's like he plays saxophone in a band, and
That sounds cool.
he gets drunk all the time, and all the women in the movie are in love with him, and he just treats them like complete shit, and it's so fucking funny.
Is he as good as Macaulay Culkin is in The Good Son?
almost every actor is better than Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son.
What about the kid from Cop and a Half?
Cop and a Half, he's worse.
The kid from Cop and a Half is worse than Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son, you think?
Cop and a Half is one of the
No
worst
way,
movies
dude.
ever made.
No, you don't really mean that.
What do you? So like, what other?
He's just playing it up, guys, for you,
What
for the audience.
dog shit movie are you gonna recommend next? North? Like it.
North, I mean, it's got Jason Alexander and Julia Louis-Dreyfus in it. There's something going on there.
What? You only like movies that
Who
star
knows?
10-year-olds.
Well, I mean, I know I haven't proven or given any evidence to the contrary about that, but that's not true. I promise. It's just a coincidence that both of the movies I picked starred 10-year-olds.
I think you're.
I think they're like 7 or 8 or something like that.
I think you have the mind of a child, and that's why you like this movie.
Well, yeah, I'm an adult that has the mind of a child.
You're
so
30.
I get kicks out of seeing.
You're like
Macaulay
what?
Culkin say fuck.
36.
35.
35-year-old man sitting on a sofa watching HBO Max and like, I'm gonna watch the movie where Macaulay Culkin says the F word.
Honestly, it's a movie
I've
that
heard about this.
I watched it because I was trying to find something to watch with my wife. Okay, and she enjoys.
She also
the
likes
cinema
kids
of
movies.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, the two of you are perfect together because you both enjoy children's films.
Well, I won't argue with you about us being perfect together.
Have you ever been to the El Capitan Theater and seen a Disney film?
Yeah, I told you I saw Elijah Wood there.
How many
Fucking idiot.
times?
Less than between 5 and 10.
Wow.
What did you think I was going to say? I like went out all the time.
No, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, no, I would. I maybe 5, honestly.
You like children's films. Let's be honest. You relate to
don't-
the
I
you
don't-
relate
no,
to the
I'm a big boy.
actors, the characters, the children.
Yeah, it's more my speed. You just don't like this movie because you think you would be a better good son than Macaulay Culkin is. You take issue with it as a good son yourself.
Yeah, I mean, he spills the beans. He's telling Elijah Wood all this stuff. Like, he should have played it up and then just killed him, pushed him down the well, and been like, "Oh man, Elijah Wood fell down the well. I feel so bad."
You're just like Macaulay. I have notes.
I got notes. You're bombing as a serial killer.
Yeah, you love saying that. I'm sure you would love saying that to Macaulay.
Hey Hans, I don't know what happened, but Elijah Wood fell down the well.
I don't know what happened, Tone. It was cool that he keeps cigarettes in the well at the cemetery.
Yeah, man. It's this kid's twisted.
That's goth. Macaulay's goth in this movie. We kind of have the Elijah Wood Macaulay dynamic in this movie, I would say. I'm Elijah, obviously.
I'm talented and you're untalented.
You're Macaulay in this situation.
I'm gonna have a career. You're gonna just spiral out of control.
I'm Elijah Wood. You are Macaulay.
I'm cool.
And I'm talking about the characters.
I'm just a cool.
You're a little psycho kid.
I'm a cool dude. I'm an adult man.
I'm dressed like Jerry Seinfeld at 10 years old.
I'm an adult man. Okay, I'm not a little kid.
You sure are. You got that right.
Can you do a Maine accent?
Mm.
Oh, hey, I'm from Maine. Oh, yeah. There's like skinheads from Maine that Dana Carvey show sketch like. Don't care much for the Negroes. Oh, that was bad.
Right. It's that sort of thing. I was thinking Baltimore.
Like Pet Cemetery.
Right.
Fred
right.
Gwynn.
Well, it's kind of Jimmy Stewart-y.
Oh, this kid's killing. He's killing a little baby. Oh, he has it's like Rear Window. He's just looking at Macaulay Culkin drown a baby.
Yeah.
He's killing that baby.
That's what the dad is doing during the climax of this movie. He's just watching them with binoculars from the house.
What's he doing? Just drinking beer at home? Just like, he ran out. The kid. I got to clean up all this broken glass.
Yeah. That shed was actually Macaulay Culkin's shed was actually the dad's workspace. He just happens to work with only toys.
I hate movies when they have like overly elaborate. Like kids are just like, yeah, I got my work shit. I'm a kid.
Yeah, yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking? Yeah, you have no money. I hate when kids have money in movies or
They just have like there's like production value to anything that they do.
yeah, their room is like too nice with like too many decorations.
Um, well,
You're not going down to 2.5 stars.
no way, man.
You don't think this is just average at best?
No, I think there's some very interesting work going on in this film.
You just think it's exciting that like Macaulay Culkin says the F word and plays a killer. You're like you're into that.
Yeah, on paper, I'm into it, and I feel like the plot contrivances. It's like you can kind of enjoy how silly it is, even though they're bad. It's like bad writing. It's kind of a funny part of that movie, and if I'm gonna watch this movie, I'm gonna like, and I'm gonna appreciate the funny parts of it. I'm not like, I don't care too much about like taking it seriously, but I think the thing about that really hinders its potential is little Macaulay's performance. But I don't want to put past judgment. You know, I'm sure he had a lot going on at the time, and Kit was probably putting a lot of pressure on him.
Hey,
You know,
you got any coconut water? I got a bad hangover. Michael Jackson dosed me real good. And baby, you got a little diaper back there? Because I am bleeding up a storm. Yeah,
Macaulay, I think when
my
they made this movie,
butthole got torn up
oh my god,
by a black and white penis. Colored like a
there you go,
barbershop pole.
folks. Mm,
You know what I'm saying,
yeah,
Hans? It's just like Rick Dalton.
yeah. Um,
Oh, I'm so drunk. It's like, no, he'd be like on Quaaludes. I could see Michael Jackson just feeding him Quaaludes. It's like, uh, I made you Quaaludes so you can sleep good at night and wake up and act.
that's nice. That's
When I
thoughtful.
made Moonwalker, I was on Quaaludes every day.
So you think Michael did it?
Do I think
You
Michael
think he did it?
Jackson raped Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
Definitively, no. I think he purposely didn't rape him so he could have the
To have
cover.
him as a
Yeah,
yeah.
so he can have the cover story. This is something
Damn.
pedophiles do to like protect their image and their good standing within the community.
Mm, interesting.
I read a whole article on Sandusky, the guy from
Okay.
Pennsylvania, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's such an elaborate. It's like it's such an elaborate way to live your life to do this. Like Sandusky literally had his own summer camp in his backyard, and he had like foster kids. Like he lived up
Oh,
this thing of
Jesus.
like, come on, come on, come on, children of the world, you can come to my house and have fun. Like,
That's Neverland Ranch shit.
yeah, Neverland Ranch shit. And also they do things like high profile kids. They don't
Right.
abuse. That way they have
Right.
the cover
Right.
story
Right.
and the excuse. So, and
Those
Macaulay Culkin, I
bastards.
think if he had been molested or raped, I think he would have admitted. I think he would have talked about it by now. I see no reason for him to hide it.
Yeah. But that's sad too if he is being used as like the Uncle Tom of like molested boys or whatever.
Uncle Tom.
Is that the word?
No.
No, it's not.
Something I found out in my research was Macaulay Culkin was actually the godfather to Michael Jackson's children.
Oh, nice.
He was like, "This is your
That's
god.
a good cover, dude.
This is your godfather. He's my best friend. He's 12 years old."
Michael Jackson's best friends were a 12-year-old and a chimpanzee.
Yeah,
What a
that
cool life.
no.
What? What are you talking about?
The most utterly horrific thing like in that HBO two-part Michael Jackson documentary is just the fact
Yeah.
that like it's like I cannot even wrap my head around this like an adult, a successful adult making music, touring the world, celebrity friends, he chooses to spend his time with a 9-year-old boy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I hate children. You know, like I.
Well, there's like that was back then. Like there was a weird thing where it was like, yes, like oh, he's like a pop star, like kids love him, and he still likes kids. He's like a
And then there's this other thing they would say, which is, oh, he likes to hang out with kids because he didn't have a childhood.
mm,
Meanwhile, Britney Spears, Jodie Foster, Elijah Wood, like every successful child actor or child singer, they're not hanging out with kids. Like you don't hear Corey
that
Feldman
would be
go like,
amazing.
"I'm hanging out with this 4-year-old because when I was 4, I was shooting gremlins, so I never got to experience preschool. So me and this kid, we're gonna get some Play-Doh, and we're gonna make a gingerbread house."
Yeah,
Like no one does that.
that makes sense.
They're just like, I'm gonna do drugs. I'm an adult. I'm not gonna fuck around, or
Yeah,
I want nothing to do with kids. Like no, there's no reason for an adult to hang out with a child.
I mean, have you ever tried it?
No, and I
Have you
never.
ever hung out with a child as an adult, just as friends, as equals?
Have I ever played swords with a young child I'm taking care of because the mafia is after him?
Um, yeah,
Have I
exactly.
ever tried to read a bedtime story to a child and read the sports page?
Yeah, for example, like hypothetically, I guess. Sure.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a
Okay.
similar situation as a kid when you were bullied by another kid, or
Into like killing a lizard or something?
or were you the bullier?
No, of course not. I was a really good kid. Still am. But yeah, I mean, you always have friends that where you're just like, damn, what the fuck is wrong with this kid when you're hanging out with them, you know?
Like what? Give me an example.
Um, well, like in high school, I guess I had friends that got me into trouble.
Oh yeah.
As a kid, I don't know. I only just hung out with like
Or what about like a kid you were just like,
nerdy
this kid is
goofballs.
fucking weird. I'm not gonna hang out with him anymore.
Yeah, well, like it's like you hang out with kids that come from like uh, troubled families or whatever, and then like they have you like just pull up shit in people's yards and everything, and just like they smash stuff as they're like walking around.
Yeah, I remember one time in middle school or high school, I think like I hung out with some kids and we took water balloons and
Mm.
were like breaking them in mailbox. Like we were basically like at first we had water balloons that we were throwing at cars, and then we just took the water balloons
Yeah,
and put them in the
yeah,
mailbox and like squished it so it spilled, and then we like closed the latch so all the mail got wet.
that's cool. That's a cool move. I definitely launched water balloons at cars and stuff. Um, that's just good, clean fun. I think when you're a kid. You know what I just realized about the climax um, of the Good Son is that the dad could have saved Macaulay Culkin
Yes,
if
if he
he
had been there.
chased after Elijah. That's that's good stuff.
What if he just showed up like, "What the fuck did you do, bitch? You dropped our son off the
Yeah,
cliff.
yeah.
I saw the whole
And he
fucking thing."
and he files for divorce.
Divorcing this skank.
Yeah. Um. Well, I feel great about my pick, and
What if he just like the dad is like putting on different shoes and he's like, I don't know, should I put on these are my running shoes? I don't. And he's just like spending all this time getting
yeah,
ready, and then he's going up the hill and he just sees like his son fall. He's like, fuck.
yeah. He just slowly backs away.
Why didn't I just run?
What are you gonna do? Um, the Good
Shit.
Dad, starring that guy. Um, well, I can't wait until I'm allowed to pick a movie again. I got big plans.
Well, I can't wait to see what you pick. It's just like whatever garbage is on HBO Max.
Just HBO Max has a good library right now. Okay, that's why I'm utilizing it so much. I mean, I wish Cop and a Half was on HBO Max, to be honest, but it's not. Hopefully, God willing, one day.
And then what? You're gonna watch it again,
Oh yeah.
just over and over,
Oh yeah.
like it's Citizen Kane,
Yeah.
just studying it. And you're gonna write it. You're gonna make like Mank. You're gonna make a film about the making of Cop and a Half.
Yeah, is that what that's about?
It's some well, it's
David
the,
Fincher's movie.
that's the making of Citizen Kane. But yeah, he's just like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's the dream.
who's gonna play Burt Reynolds?
Mm, who would play Burt Reynolds in the making of Cop and a Half? It would have to be
Walton
somebody pretty
Goggins,
prestigious. I mean,
Gary
sure,
Oldman,
sure, and Michael B. Jordan can play the kid.
and it's like motion capture.
Yeah, yeah, it's Benjamin Button and Michael B. Jordan.
That'd
So
be pretty hip, dude.
that's not what that is, I guess. That effect.
Technology will only make movies better,
Oh boy, here we go.
and it has.
No, jeez, don't get started, please.
Daniel Day
We're
Lewis.
trying to wrap this up.
Daniel
You're about
Day
to go
Lewis
off,
can
I
be
can
playing every character in a movie mocapped,
tell. That sounds cool.
or Andy Serkis.
I would like to. If it was like Daniel, if it was a great actor playing like every character, like clumping an entire movie,
There was
I would see that.
Robert Downey Jr. wanted to do Pinocchio, where he played Geppetto and Pinocchio.
That sounds. I want to see that.
That would be
I don't think it would be good necessarily.
and
but
he got P.T. Anderson to do like a screenplay pass on it,
oh, cool.
but
Damn, what a weird Hollywood tale.
it's currently in development hell after Doctor Doolittle or Doolittle.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, do you
Get
know
it
what?
right.
Do you know what happens in the climax of Doolittle?
No.
There's a giant dragon who has a bagpipe up its asshole, and Robert Downey Jr. has to pull out the bagpipe.
Like literally a bagpipe?
I believe so. I never watched it, but that's what I read.
A dragon? You said?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I thought it was like a talking animal movie.
yeah, but like you need a big finish, so you need a big fancy animal.
I see. Yeah, the dragon is the fanciest animal.
Yeah, let's do a little YouTubing. Let's watch this.
That'll be a good send off. We cannot have another fucking 2 hour thing. I mean, it already is, but
Whoops, I'm recording the audio by accident. Yeah, here's the dragon. There's Robert
wait, are
Downey
you screen
Jr.
sharing?
I'm not screen sharing. I'm just fucking.
oh, I'm so excited to see that.
It's,
I just revealed that I was way too excited to see this thing.
you'll probably want. This is
So
your next
embarrassed.
movie pick.
I mean, it sounds pretty cool. Doolittle Dragon. There's a dragon in the Doolittle. Okay.
These movies, like Hollywood movies, are the most bizarre movies
Yeah, they're the most like surreal and stuff.
because they put in these big giant actors like Robert Downey Jr. or Macaulay Culkin, and then they think like, well, now we can do anything.
Yeah, they'll just the audience will just buy whatever shit we like pull out of our ass.
Whatever stupid garbage they want to do, or their family member. Like I think Robert Downey Jr.'s wife is his manager. Like, you know,
Interesting.
look, you want to. If you're an
yeah.
actor out there, if you're in the biz, get a real manager, get a real agent, okay?
Marry your manager, or manage your spouse.
I manage Ozzy. Ozzy Osbourne is my client and my husband.
Cher does it.
Sharon Osbourne? Yeah, she was his manager.
Yeah, that's cool. That's like when a kid, like a student fucks his teacher.
That'd be fucking cool. Dude.
You know, that's like the coolest thing a kid can do.
The kid seduces the teacher.
Yeah. The Macaulay seduces Michael Jackson.
That's
Maybe these kids were just seducing Michael. Maybe Macaulay wasn't doing the thing that these terrible, evil kids were doing.
wow, I didn't realize you went to law school.
Yeah.
You got a real legal mind.
Some have said that. I've been told I have a legal mind before.
Hey,
Big deal. I don't like to show it off too much.
how do we
but-
know these kids didn't rape Michael Jackson? Okay?
Me standing before like a packed courtroom.
just drooling on heroin,
Yeah,
like Christopher Moltisanti. You're just like,
yeah.
oh man, I was gonna work on the case, but I just got high all week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had to go see this band that Adriana was managing. And,
Massive Genius and I were partying all night.
dude, I love the band that Adriana wants to manage.
And she
That sings that not like 2000s slow rock. What is that? I don't even know how to describe.
just
But
like
that's
New
like a
Jersey
perfect.
bar music.
Yeah, that has no choruses. That kind of thing. It is bar. It's like a band you would hear play at a bar for sure.
It's the perfect band for her to manage in the show. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's very funny. I've been enjoying my rewatch. I'm not watching as many movies right now, honestly, because I'm hooked
It's not that many movies coming
on
out.
the Pranos.
You know, movies
I mean, I got a lot.
movies are kind of
Got a lot to
dying.
catch up on. We're just on a sinking ship right now. You're saying making a podcast about movies?
Well, there's lots of old movies, but there's not.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing. If nothing's coming out, it's like all you have
So
are all you can watch are old movies, and it's like
are
it's.
they doing like an Oscars this year? You think?
I heard they were delaying it a year.
Yeah, it kind of because there's just nothing has come out really, or like it doesn't even. It's crazy that like a Christopher Nolan movie came out
And made
and it's like nobody.
$48 million.
Wow. I mean, I
That's how
guess.
much it made in the U.S. It made like 300 worldwide, but yeah, it made like 48 million bucks.
Oh boy, I hope he's okay.
I think he's fine.
I hope he makes it out okay.
They might re-release it.
It'd be cool if Christopher Nolan like hated COVID mandates and like wearing a mask and stuff just because he was pissed about the movie, you know, having no theatrical release really.
I think he is.
Yeah, but he should be like a mask truther. He'd be like an outspoken mask truther because he's pissed that Tenant got screwed over.
He just gets on the. He's at MAGA march right now.
Yeah.
They stole the election.
They stole the election.
They stole the election
This
from me and
intelligent
ruined me
British man.
movie.
Yeah. That's the perfect Christopher Nolan.
They ruined me
Wow.
fucking movie. Fucking wankers.
Dude, am I talking to Christopher Nolan right now? It feels like it.
This fucking cunt, Gavin Newsom. Fuck him.
Yeah. Dude, that would be cool. No, he's probably. I picture Christopher Nolan drinking tea while directing. Sometimes.
Hey Leo, why don't you do it again? But this time we'll like walk backwards, and we're gonna record it backwards, and then we'll play it forwards, give it an interesting look, right?
Nice. Yeah.
You know who
That's
talks like
him.
that kind of is Christian Bale.
Right.
He's Cockney.
Yeah. I kind of like Christian Bale's real voice. It seems like a more working. It makes him feel like more working class than he is because he's just a child actor his whole life. But like
Brilliant child
that's a
actor.
cool. Yeah.
A real Elijah Wood. That guy. Henry V. Brilliant.
He would have been a good in the Elijah Wood role in this movie as a kid. I think.
He would have been good as Macaulay Culkin, like American Psycho.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite thing he ever said is there's besides that recording, but when he's
Yeah, that's the best.
when he's
Oh, good for you.
oh good for you,
That's my
you're
favorite
so
part of
fucking
that.
amateur.
I like to say that to myself sometimes.
There's an interview he did for that Dick Cheney movie Vice, and
Yeah.
he um he was like learning about heart attacks, and because Dick Cheney had so many heart attacks, and then Adam McKay one day was like, "Oh, I don't feel good. I have I'm feeling like this," and then Christian Bale was like, "I think you had a heart attack," because that's what Dick Cheney said.
Damn. You know who really saved his life if you like get down to the root of it is Dick Cheney.
Yes,
Dick Cheney saved Adam McKay's life.
yes, I did.
He's a hero.
Cock Cheney.
That's cool. Yeah. That's like a type of piercing you can get on your dick.
I got a
A
cock
cock Cheney.
Cheney. Yeah, you take a shotgun, a bird shot, and you blast ahead of your penis,
Yeah,
and it looks like a little pinhead
yeah.
doll.
They call that a cock Cheney.
What about a pinhead? You just have like pins.
Oof. Ouchie. Owie. Yikes. Check, please.
Can I have my soul back?
You're being the girl after she gets fucked by a guy with a pinhead dick. Is that what you're doing?
Check
Is that what you're doing
please.
just now? Yeah.
You know what would have been good for a cock piercing?
Hmm.
You just take a railroad spike and shoot it out of a crossbow in your cock.
Yeah.
Get it? It's like the
Call it
good son.
call it the Macaulay.
The
Well,
end.
thanks for listening. I'm sure a lot of people were really excited to see this episode, and I'm sure that they've all listened to it until the end. So, thank you for listening, and you're welcome for the enjoyable time that you've just had.
Wow, did you go to broadcasting school? Because you're just amazing on the mic.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's unscripted, a little bit off. The rest of this has been scripted, but this is an unscripted moment from the heart. So
You did a real
messy, maybe, but raw and real.
you did a real Michael Scott meltdown there.
Okay, let's stop.